The ball game is Paul McKeskey has become kind of a cult hero in Milwaukee, Tommy.
Fred Roberts hits McKeskey at the other end.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend, former Milwaukee Bucks legend, Paul McKeskey, coming to you on a Monday evening before the kickoff of Monday Night Football. Mo, I noticed neither one of us are wearing our
Hey, I could put my Packer hat on, but
bad weekend in Motown,
man, and in Kansas City.
Yeah. Hey, still plenty of season to go, plenty of time to right the ship.
Yeah, sure.
I think when the season's over, the Chiefs are going to be there. I think they just.
Aren't they 500 now, or what? I don't know.
Yeah, they're 5-5. The Lions are 6-4. I think the Lions will be okay too. They got so many injuries. And the thing about Jared Goff, you have to protect him. If you don't protect him, he's in trouble because he's not one of these guys that can run around back there. And they could not do that last night, and it cost them.
Yeah, you got to protect your QB.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he is, you got to protect. But in particular, Jared Goff. But yeah, our teams got their butts kicked yesterday, the Lions and Chiefs, but we'll be back. But man, it was a busy weekend in the world of sports, Mo. People losing their jobs. The firing of Nico Harrison, I guess it wasn't a surprise to me, Mo, but I was surprised that they waited till 10, 12 games into the season. Wouldn't they do this in the summer? Talking about the Dallas Mavericks fired Nico Harrison, who made the big trade for Luka Doncic, for Anthony Davis over the summer. You weren't surprised they didn't do this sooner?
No, I mean, they made the trade to see how Anthony Davis would fit in with everybody, and they picked up Cooper Flagg. No, they wanted to see how this worked out before they fired anybody. I mean, guess what? If the Mavericks were 8-3 right now, they wouldn't have fired him. And if Anthony Davis was healthy, and Klay Thompson wasn't stinking it up and was actually making jump shots, not shooting 15% from the three, it would be a whole different ballgame, and Nico Harris would still have his job. Maybe not, because I guess now in the NBA, whenever the fans get together and they start chanting to fire someone, I guess you have to fire them now. And pretty soon the fans should be able to chant who to put in the game, what substitution pattern, who should start. That should be all on chanting from the fans. And what strategy. So the fans should chant zone defense, and then you should play zone defense. I guess that's the way the owner of the Mavericks thinks now, because you're making a move, and it's fine. You didn't like the trade. Guess what? You signed off on the trade.
That's what
The owner signed off on the trade. It didn't work out so far, but Klay Thompson's playing terrible. Anthony Davis is hurt again. Kyrie Irving's not coming back for a few more months, maybe. So you don't know what you have after this trade. And now you're going to, you can fire your general manager. And it's kind of, I'm not excited, but I'm a little happy that instead of firing the head coach, you actually fired the general manager who made them move. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually when things aren't going right, the head coach goes, even though he didn't make the trade or make the decisions. That's just the way the business is. But, and if you're the owner, they didn't do it right. They should have said, listen, things are not going well. We need to shake it up and make a change. You should not come out in the public and say, people were chanting and they were disturbing our players, so we had to make a move. That's so chicken and that's so bailout. Come on, man. I mean,
you said something that I've been thinking the whole time. They wouldn't have made pulled the trigger on that trade without owner of the team, knowing
No.
you don't make a trade like that, right?
No, the owner okays trades. He okays all trades. Even if the general manager has power to make trade, the owner has to sign off on it. That's the rule. The owner owns the team. He has to sign off on every move. You can't just do whatever you want. So, maybe he got talked into it, but that's on you, Mr. Owner, or Mrs. Owner. And now to blame that, and the really thing that irks me is the chanting. I mean, so let's chant who you should start. Okay, when we're warming up, everyone chant who I should start tonight. Okay, everybody chant. If I should fire the defensive coordinator, if I should fire the scout, everybody chant their name. That's even if you did it because of that, you don't tell people that.
Right.
It makes you look rinky-dink, and it makes the whole organization look bad.
Right. And the Mavericks organization intimately, having spent so many years there.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Cuban took over and changed that whole mentality. We did well in the playoffs. We went to the finals against Miami Heat, and we sold out every game for 5 years, and they've been doing that till lately. But it's just so chicken. Like, if you're the owner, you should come out and say, "Listen, Nico Harris talked me into this stupid trade, and I hate the trade now, and I'm firing him." That's what you should say. Have some guts, man. Our players are so upset when
I
they
was
change.
dumb enough to sign off on the damn trade too.
Yeah.
So,
Our players are so.
But I'm not going to fire myself. So, Nico, you got to go.
They can't play hard because the teams are chanting, and
we're going to get into some sensitivity with the fans later on in the show. Draymond Green had his usual folly over the weekend, but we'll get into that. Yeah.
So let's, like 4 or 5 months ago, I think I remember right. I mean, I'm getting old and I forget stuff, Ricky, but weren't the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals 5 months ago? Isn't that true? Is that true? I mean,
that's true. That's the ultimate goal, to get there, and there's only one more step to that.
Wasn't that after the trade?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello? I mean, really? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do, I mean, you got Cooper Flagg. Stop playing him at point guard. He's not a point guard. Play him at the wing where he belongs. You signed D'Angelo Russell to play point. Let him play point, even though the flaws he has. Who cares? You have great big men back up. But if you're going to make a move, and then make a move. Get rid of Klay Thompson, send him somewhere else. Maybe make a decision on Anthony Davis because he's hurt all the time. One of your bigs, you have like 5 bigs that are effective in the NBA. Trade one of them to Golden State for some draft picks or a young player.
Hey, Steve, and welcome everybody out there. Please send us your questions and comments. Paul and I love speaking with you every Monday. Steve says Davis asked to be traded out of L.A.
We don't. Oh, I don't. We don't know that. Steve,
Yeah,
we don't know that.
I'm not sure if that's true. Whatever the case, he was gone, and it is definitely a great deal for the Lakers. And tell me this, Mo, if Davis is healthy, playing, and he's going to be there consistently, something he's never done, would you make that trade with Luka?
Possibly. They went to the NBA Finals, right? And they didn't have Cooper Flagg last year. So, if you're looking for the future, if Anthony Davis can stay healthy at all and Kyrie Irving gets back with the bigs you have and Cooper Flagg, isn't that a championship caliber team? But it's going to take maybe the rest of the year. I mean, if you don't make the play, maybe you get a good draft pick and add somebody else. But, patience is not a universal thing around athletics, as we know. And, someone's going to get the blame and, and that is what it is. That's the business, right? I mean, one of the reasons they made that trade is because Luka never got in great shape when he was in Dallas. He never did. They begged, borrowed, and pleaded with him. They cried. They patted him on the back. They hugged him. They flew out to wherever to say, this is your team. And he never got in the best shape. And now he's in the best shape of his life in LA. So in my opinion, that's Luka saying, hey, Dallas Mavericks fans, I was good there, but I could have been a lot better if I was in shape, but I just didn't want to get in shape, so, I'm sorry, but, it's just, but the thing that really upsets me is to blame it partly on fans chanting someone to get fired. Yeah. Don't fans chant that all the time? Fire this coach, fire that coach, get rid of this guy. They chant it all the time. So now you're an owner that, okay, I want everybody to write in who we should start tomorrow. Okay, all the fans said we should start this G League guy because we like him. I mean, it's silly.
Hey, Mo, my Pistons are a good example of being patient. This is the same team, the nucleus of that same team that lost 29 games 2 years ago. They lost 29 games in a row.
How many did they win for the season? Like 18, right? 19?
14. They won 14 games.
Yeah. That was what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they got a new coach, but they kept the nucleus of the team together. And now it's paying dividends. But Paul, before we came on the air, I was talking to you about James Franklin taking a new job at Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech decided to pour all kinds of money into the athletic program tonight. I mean, college athletics is essentially pro athletics in basketball and football now. So there's not a lot of patience anywhere.
C.J. Watson, who's a friend of mine, does the other show with me. His daughter just signed with Pitt volleyball scholarship and has NIL money. So it's more than just football and basketball. It's all the sports.
Wow, she's getting NIL money for.
Yeah, a lot of them are. And don't think that NIL money doesn't come into play for baseball at USC, Arizona State, all those schools. So NIL money, college sports right now is professional sports and about the money and with free agency every year. Every year. You're a free agent, so I can go if I want, and you got to pay me more, or then I got to go look to sign some other. That's what it is. It's the NBA. It's the NBA if they had free agents every year. So after this season, the Joker, Giannis, Luka, all those guys would be free agents at the end of the season. How about that? Everyone's free agents. Who has the most money? I mean, you could put together a super team if you had $1 billion,
Right. Look at Vanderbilt football. Look, Vanderbilt football has been the worst team in the SEC for years. They poured all kind of money into that program. Now they got an outstanding football team, top 20 football team.
It takes money and it takes smarts and a plan and getting the right players. You can't just throw money at anybody that you think's good that had, had 20 points a game at University of Green Bay, Wisconsin, because they scored 25 points a game, and you're going to sign him at Duke and think he's going to. That doesn't happen. I mean, I was just looking at the top 10 college basketball players on the men's side, NIL money, and all 10 of them make $1.5 million a year in NIL money.
For this season.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a player, I can't remember his name, but he went to he played at a mid-level school and averaged 15 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists.
Lindbergh?
No, it's somebody else.
He's got a funny name.
No, but he signed with a high-level team for $1.5 million. He averaged 15 points a game, 14. Come on, man.
Wow.
But that's if you
came along too late, brother.
Yeah,
too early.
I would have taken $100 a month. That would have been good for me.
Yeah, but yeah, it's highly competitive.
The guy's name, The guy's name is Brandon Smith,
Never heard of him.
and he played at Purdue, averaged 14 points a game, and he just signed for Creighton at 1.5 million.
Oh, I think that's the little point guard for them. He was the point guard.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there you
he's
go.
Brandon Smith. I do remember. He's a good player. I mean, and Steve's saying hockey too. So yeah, if they giving volleyball money, I guarantee they're giving hockey money.
Sure, Minnesota, all those schools, absolutely.
Yeah, here in the Midwest, it is.
You know what else? Field hockey in the East, for sure.
That's big time stuff. But Mo, do you think it is what it is with Harrison? It doesn't matter whether it was fair or not. He got fired. What does that make you don't like the way the Mavericks look doing it?
Yeah, I don't like that the owner partially blamed fans chanting that upset the players during the game. That's stupid. That's no way to make a decision. You don't like the trade. You don't like what he's doing. You don't like him as a person. Okay, fire him. But because the fans are chanting and it's upsetting your professional players that are making 10 to 15 million a year, and they can't absorb because fans are chanting and they get all upset and they can't play. That's just stupid. Makes no sense. That's what I don't like.
Well, Nico wasn't the only guy that got let go over the weekend. The New Orleans Pelicans fired Willie Green. Out to a 2-10 start, and he was in his fifth year at New Orleans, Mo, and Joe Dumars, Piston legend, and now the president of basketball at New Orleans, said after careful evaluation, we have made the difficult decision to make a change. I have the utmost respect for Willie Green. I always have the utmost respect for him when they let you go.
When they let you go. Yeah, we wish him the best. We wish him. Thank you for your contribution to our organization. We wish you the best. Good luck to you and your family. Don't let the door hit you in the butt when you leave.
Mo, Willie Green had Zion Williamson for 44% of the games that he coached in.
Yeah, the franchise. Yeah, but that's all part of the game. But so Willie Green was an assistant with Golden State for 3 years, an assistant in Phoenix for 2 years. When he started at 36 or something, or 35, and he was one of the up and coming assistant coaches, like back in the day, a few years ago, Darvin Ham, guys like that were pegged as head coaches as assistants, and he got the job in New Orleans at 40 years old, which is young for a head coach in the NBA, probably not much anymore. And he started to turn that program around. They went from 36 and 46 to 42 and 40 to in 2024, they were 49 and 33. So he was going in the upward motion with the organization, and they loved him. And then guess what? Some guy with the last name starting with a Z got hurt last year and missed and only played in 30 of the 82 games, and they were 21 and 61. So, and that's just part, and they were 2-10 this year, but they don't have Zion, they don't have Murray, they don't, even two of their two-way players are hurt. They don't have them either. So, you're banged up and hurt, but, that's, again, the nature of the beast. But he got a fair shot. He got 4 years and a little bit more. So, he was 150 and 190, but he came into a bad situation, turned it around for a little bit. But, that's just, you're getting, unfortunately, as a head coach in the NBA, you have to deal with, your best player not playing in almost half your games while you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but he made some nice money, and he'll probably get another job here pretty quickly because he's probably got a lot of friends around. and we'll see what happens. But that, I keep telling you and everybody out there, that's the professional coaching business. It's not fair. A lot of times it isn't, and you have to deal with it. And not only do you have to deal with it, your wife has to deal with it, your kids have to deal with it, the assistant coaches have to deal with it, and it's a whole deal. But that's just, if you get in this business, you're hired to be fired, unless you're Papa
You're
or something like that.
highly compensated, but it's a very perilous position to be in.
Yep.
Would you trade Zion? Does he have a trade market?
The answer is yes, and not much. I mean, at what point do you pull the plug on your franchise guy that was going to be the face of the league 5 years ago? Remember that?
He
was the face of the league. He was. Not Ant-Man, he was. And he's never, I mean, his numbers are great, 25 and 10 rebounds and 7 and whatever. Doesn't really have a position. And he's hurt all the time. The best ability is what?
Availability.
Yep. And if you can't put your good players on the floor, what good are they to you? All they are is sucking up contract money that you could pay somebody else to actually play. The problem is now that he's damaged goods. He like Luka, not as bad. He's worse than Luka was, but he never got in shape either till this year. And then, sadly enough, he still got hurt, even when he was in shape and lost weight. But what team? If you were another team and New Orleans called you and said, "Hey, Ricky, we're looking at, believe it or not, unbelievably, we're looking at trading Zion. He's a triple-double guy, great kid, unbelievable talent. What will you give us for him?"
Yeah, I would wonder that.
I wouldn't give. I'd give him some backup guy and a draft pick. I don't think I'd even do that. Why? You got to take his contract.
You got to take his salary too.
Yeah, you got to take his salary, which I think is $100 million left on that thing.
And Paul, is he a guy who could just go anywhere and you could just throw him in a lineup?
No, I mean, if you put him with the Golden State Warriors, could he fit in? His basketball IQ is not great. What about the Denver Nuggets?
If he's going to decide I'm going to rebound and
but he's never decided that though. So you sent him to the Nuggets, and he's going to take shots. So guess who doesn't get him? Murray and Luke and the Joker. You want that? You want Zion taking shots away from those guys? No. Yeah. I mean, but if he would accept a role and rebound and finish around the basket, people play him at center. Play him at the center position.
And I think John Morant's the same way. I mean, because he does not like having that ball, not having the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, most basketball players at the NBA level, in a 48-game minute, you play 35 minutes. You got the ball in your hands for 5 or 6 minutes usually. Just think of that. So what are you going to do for the other? Yeah, what are you going to do with the other 30 minutes? Just look what Steph Curry does with the other 30 minutes.
So even a guy like Steph Curry only has the ball in his hands.
Yes, 5 or 6 minutes, absolutely, no question.
Wow, I see.
You got Ja Morant, Harden, those guys have, but even they only have the ball in their hands for like 10 minutes of real time. Think about that.
I never considered that. That's
when I train young players, they all want to have the handle and the bag and go to my bag and do all this crap. In a real game, you don't have the ball in your hands that much. So how are you going to help the team and help yourself? Play defense, rebound, be in rotations, dive on the floor, move, pass, cut, set picks.
Folks, that's why we love being here on Mondays. You can learn something from this man. That's some good stuff, though, on that. And you talk about, okay, could Ja and Zion fit into a team? The Lakers are about to get LeBron James back into the lineup, and they've been off to a great start. And, hear people saying, I think people said they're better off without LeBron.
Yeah, but so LeBron's what? How old is he?
50, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. So when he came in the league as a young man, he had the ball in his hands. He made plays. He distributed. He did all that. And he did that probably for 15 years of his career. And he was great at it. But later in his career, he realizes that, hey, I can play more forward now. I don't have to bring the ball up. That's hard. I can do other stuff. He can pass. He can set picks. He can cut. He can rebound. And if he'll come back and just do that, it's going to be a great fit. But if he comes back and says, here, I'm going to impose my will on this team, and I'm going to handle the ball, and I'm going to bring the ball down, that's what gets Giannis in trouble in Milwaukee. He brings the ball down all the time. That's not your job. And he's terrible at it. But, if LeBron comes back in that mentality, he will screw everything up. Because guess who's handling the ball now? Luka, who averaging 35 points a game, and Reeves, who just scored 50 points in a game, and he handles the ball.
Yeah.
So just like I said with shots, right? So I'm going to come in an organization that has, let's say, the Joker and Murray and Aaron, and they take up 20 shots, 25 shots. I'm going to come in, and if I take 20 shots, they're going to miss out on shots, 2 or 3 shots each every game. And that deters from them, so you have to think about that. The same is true with ball handling. Luka handles the ball a lot. Reeves is really good at handling the ball. If you come in and say, I'm going to bring the ball down now, you take the ball out of their hands. If the ball's in their hands for 10 minutes, now their ball's in their hands for 6. They're not as effective. So all that kind of strategy comes into play.
But Mo, Luka, his average should go down from 35 to what? With LeBron back 30?
No, he averages. His career he's averaging 27. He had some big game scoring early, but after in the long run, that's going to come down. But maybe I don't know when the last time we saw somebody average 30 plus points in a game in the NBA.
Yeah,
it's been a while. But I think that's changed this year because of the way the refs call it and how many free throws you shoot and the pace of play. But his shots, LeBron's going to take, a center or a power forward spot, might take a shot or so from Hachimura, guys like that. But, your main players, if, the Lakers, back in the day when they had Magic running the show, he distributed. Cream's going to get most of the shots, but so is James Worthy. So is Michael Cooper. So is even Kurt Rambis early in the game. You're going to get some shots up. But if you leave it up to the players and the distribution starts going askew and all wacky, you got a problem, and you're going to be on. And that's a problem for a coach. You got to be able to say, hey, listen, as great as LeBron is, hey, listen, LeBron, we're going well with Reeves and Luka handling the ball. Obviously, if you get the rebound, push it. That's always the case. But, don't stay back in the backcourt and wait for an outlet pass. Run the floor. Outrun the big guys. Catch the ball on the wing and attack. It's easier. The defense moves. So, and I think LeBron's smart enough to do that. So it's
I do too. I think he will fit. Yeah. The guy understands that his IQ. Tell me if I'm wrong, but his IQ is off the charts.
And you know what pointed that out last year when they traded for Luka? There was a timeout or a pregame when they were getting announced or a timeout. And I remember the mic being in the huddle, and LeBron looked at Luka and said, "We don't need you to adapt to us. We need Luka to be Luka." And that means that, you be you, we'll work it out. And I think that's LeBron's mentality.
Yeah, but when you look at what OKC is doing. And Steve just texted Ayton is playing better. Hey, Ayton, you said that was a big pickup for them, Mo. I mean, and he's been averaging 15 and 10 practically all season, and he's even upped that a little bit lately.
Yeah, he's been a double-double guy his whole career. You know, he was in Phoenix, he was in Portland, and you know, they don't run plays for him. He runs the floor, rim runs. They get it to him in the early post action. And, you know, he gets trailer shots and dribble handoff rolls and lobs to the basket. They don't run plays for him. And that's why he was a big fit, because he can rebound, block shots, protect the rim, and catch and dunk. You know, Reeves and Luka all throw lobs to him, and they love it because he can catch it and finish. So that, to me, that's what I mean by a good fit. Not just the player averaging 10, 12 rebounds and 50, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a good fit. You don't have to run plays for him. You don't throw it to him in the post all the time. You remember when Dwight Howard first came in the league years ago, and he was running the floor with Turkoglu and those guys, Jamil Nelson, and
went
catching
to the finals
and running. Yeah, they went to the finals. Then, after he was All-Star, he got in his mind that he wanted to be a low post player like Shaq. Catching the post, dribble, hook, all that. And that took away from the whole team. That's not you. You don't have to do that. You can score 25 points by just running the floor and picking and rolling. It's easy. Offensive rebounds, you get 25 points every game.
But Mo, I think the Lakers are really a good team. But brother, I don't think anybody outside of Denver can play with OKC.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, Golden State, if they made a move and got a legitimate big, maybe. Houston, not there. Dallas, obviously not. Clippers, not. Lakers, possibly if LeBron comes back and does the right things. But the top runners in the West are OKC and Denver. And like we said, I told you before, Denver got deeper, and they got Valanciunas to back up the Joker, so he's not tired and worn out every game, because he can play backup center and absorb some minutes and some fouls and some physical play, and they actually play him at the same time too. So, yeah, I think it's Denver and OKC at the top.
Ooh, Denver 13-1. Denver's 13-1.
But Brown got hurt. Brown's out for a few weeks or a month, so that's going to hurt them.
For
Denver.
For Denver, Kansas Jayhawk. Are you talking about Bruce Brown? Do they have Bruce Brown back?
No.
You mean Brown from Kansas?
Yeah, his name is spelled Braun, but he says it's Brown.
Yeah, from Kansas.
Yeah, he got hurt this week.
Fellow Jayhawk, but they do have Bruce Brown back on that. On that roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got OKC at 13-1, Denver 10-2, the Rockets 9-3, Lakers 10-4, San Antonio 8-4. I mean, you got some teams over here playing. Golden State's 9-6, and they in the 7th spot.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle all year. Who's going to stay healthy? You know, San Antonio lost Harper, their lottery pick point guard, who was playing really good, and they lost him for a month or so. So, you know, it's about who's healthy.
and what we're going to see now, Mo, as we move towards the first of the year, teams that fall out of contention, who's going to be up for grabs? So we don't really know the teams that are going to finish the season until after the trade deadline.
What do you mean?
What teams are going to make moves? Teams are looking, who's available?
Look at the bottom of the list.
That's where I was at.
Washington. Yeah, Washington. Who else is down there?
Sacramento's 3-11.
They're going to make big moves. I think they're talking about reshaping everything.
Memphis 4-10. You can get a job.
Sabonis might be a big get for somebody, even the Golden State Warriors, if they could work that out. That'd be huge.
The Clippers are 4-9. Bradley Beal's out for the year.
New Orleans.
Wow. Bradley Beal's out for the year with the Clippers. Harden, 36. Kawhi, 34.
He's hurt again.
Chris Paul, 40. I mean, that I heard maybe Zubac could be on the market. Mo, he has made himself into a really good center.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Like someone like Golden State or someone like that, even Detroit could use someone like that.
Oh, we could use him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So maybe he could be available.
But the key in any trade is you can't give up too much, or then you get a player that fits perfect, but part of those pieces you gave away, so it doesn't fit perfect anymore. You know.
Ooh, Steve's Bucks are a 500 team. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, man.
They made moves, and Giannis is playing great, but they signed
the
us
8-6 in the East. It's so funny looking at my Pistons at 11-2, Knicks 8-4, Cleveland 9-5, Hawks 9-5, Raptors 8-5, Philly 7-5, Milwaukee 8-6. They're better than that, though, aren't they, Mo?
Yeah, I think so. It's early. Yeah, I think it's early for them. They've had injuries too, so the East is wide open. Not like the West. The East is wide open. You're looking at, New York, Cleveland, Detroit's going to fall back, but they're up there. Orlando, they're banged up again, but it's pretty wide open. Philadelphia's not what they used to be. Boston's not what they used to be. Chicago's playing well.
But Paul, I tell you, I never remembered an era such as this, where you have so many guys who are supposed to be foundation players of their teams that rarely play.
Well,
Kawhi. You want me to give you a list? Kawhi, Embiid.
They're all old, broken down. They're all injured, right?
Perpetually so.
Yeah. So
Anthony Davis.
Zion.
Yeah.
So they're all hurt. That's a problem. You can't help us if you can't get on the floor for an extended period of time, and that's the facts of and they're all that group you just said. I bet nobody makes under $30 million a year in that whole, and upwards of 50.
and I wonder if, because you played 12 years in this league, and you still pay for that with some of your physical things. So it is a grind to play a 82-game season in the NBA.
Yeah, it's 8 months, travel, plane, pounding, physical. You take falls. Look at all the falls they take all the time. And I was mostly a backup for 12 years, so I would play between 20 and 25 minutes, maybe sometimes just 15. Some of these guys, Anthony Davis, they're all playing 35 minutes a game. Just think of that pounding times 82.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
No, I say that and I'm like, man, you know what? I already got $50 million in the bank. I don't know if I feel like doing this tonight. Do you think guys think that?
Sure. I mean, you're playing the fifth game of a 5-game road trip, and you've flown in from city to city. Sure, you're flying on a private jet, and you got all that stuff, but you get in at 3 a.m. You wake up in a hotel bed, you go get something to eat, you go to shoot around, you go play, you do it again. At some point, you might say, I don't know if I can do this tonight.
Yeah, I that is something that is.
Yeah, now I got to play tonight. I got to play the Joker tonight and get
Yeah.
beat up. We used to call a lot of centers back in the day. They mysteriously got sick or injured before they played Moses Malone that night. You know what
Oh.
we used to call it? We called it Moto. Oh, I'm kind of sick, or I hurt my toe, or we call it Moto.
I don't feel like this tonight.
Not that beating.
And LeBron James keeps coming back. He's actually 40 years old. He'll be 41 in December.
He takes care of his body. He always has. And he's played, I think he started at 18, right?
Started at 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't you say you saw him practice with you were out in LA when they were practicing with the Olympic team?
Yeah.
And he was going at it as well as anybody, as hard as anybody.
He had more energy in practice than everybody else.
So he was 38 and 9 then. Wow.
Yeah. But he was the oldest guy on the floor for sure.
But that's a guy that loves to play.
Yeah, and he takes care of his body. He spends supposedly $1 million a year on his body and his nutrition and everything. So it shows.
When you see Luka play now, can you, as with your trained eye, can you see where the fitness has made him better?
Yeah, I mean, you're not carrying around another 15 or 20 pounds, obviously. Better on your back, better on your knees, better on your legs in general. Yeah, for sure. And he's still, people don't understand, he's 6'9". He's 6'9". He's as big as Magic was. And so he can still post up guys, even though he lost 20 pounds or whatever he lost. He's still a big guy.
And speaking of injuries, Wembanyama's out for about a week, but man, he's having a good start to the season. 26 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 4 assists a game. And as the Spurs off to the 9-4 record, and he had a dust up with Draymond Green. I guess Draymond's just in a bad mood last week.
Well, one thing about Wemby, teams figured out how to play him now. They figured out how to play him. So it started in Phoenix. It carried over with Golden State. They put a smaller player on him, smaller, strong player. By smaller, I mean 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", stronger. And they body him out down low. They're physical with him. They beat on him. And then when he catches it in the post, they double team him with a big guy with long arms, and they trap him immediately, and they make him throw it out. He was turning the ball over. He's figuring it out a little bit now. But that's how teams are guarding him now and have combated him. And you see it all the time. You'll see it now. And guess what that does? It puts a bigger toll on your body. You're getting banged all the time by little guys. And big guys hate little guys that bang on you. They hate it. They're down around your elbow. You want to just elbow them in the face, but if you do, it's a flagrant. So Wemby's going to have to learn that as he comes forward.
You know what was funny? Draymond, who's 6'7", 6'8", he was looking that up, talking stuff to him, and he looked like a little kid talking up to him.
I mean, the guy's 7'7" now. I mean, even when I played, Mark Eaton, Manute Bol, guys like that, I'm 7 foot and I looked up to him. So if you're 6'7", 6'8", just think about that.
Unbelievable. What's up, Marcus?
Hey, Marcus.
I'm at this terrible high school girls game.
Get out of the gym. Get out of the gym.
Call a timeout, Marcus, and give them a few pointers, man.
Go somewhere to watch the Kansas Duke basketball game tonight. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, that will be a good one. Steve said Luka had a fat belly.
I don't know if all that, but he was heavy for sure.
He was heavy.
Yeah. And people told him that. Zion was heavy. People told him that too. So.
Mo, what do you think about Draymond having it out with the fan?
I think that's stupid. I think, even though I don't understand how the fan was standing up, he has a courtside seat, but he's standing up almost on the court. That's a problem.
Right.
I think unless you're cheering, for a second, they need to sit down. But if you get in a confrontation where you're standing up right next to you're less than 1 foot away from the dude, right? You're on the court, you're doing your job, you're playing your profession, and he's a couple inches from your face calling you names. That's a problem, and the NBA needs to take care of that. You pay $8 billion for a courtside seat. That's great, but sit your butt down and watch the game. And that's a problem. But at the same time, Draymond is Draymond. But why would you confront a fan? Do like I did back when I got confronted in Indiana. Hey, buy another beer, sit down, and continue to pay my salary.
Well, Draymond said he kept calling me a woman.
So
he kept calling me a woman's name. He was calling him Angel Reese. It was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman. I got 4 kids, 1 on the way. You can't call me a woman.
So what?
What? I mean,
yeah.
Mo, what if the barber had got a hold of Draymond?
Oh, or the attorney in Washington.
Yeah, think.
Yeah, I mean, then what are you going to say? He's going to call you more than a woman. I tell you that. And it's so stupid. What, do you hurt your feelings? I mean, yeah, you have 4 kids, then act like it.
Yeah. I agree with that, Marcus, and
yep. And I'm sure,
I agree with both of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do like when Halliburton's dad came on the floor last year and confronted Giannis. You can't have that. I mean, in the NBA anymore, back in the day, it used to get crazy. Players went in the stands all the time, not all the time, but a lot. I saw McHale go in the stands. I saw Ricky. So I got, they went after players, not even to think the Malice in the Palace. I mean, that brawl.
I covered that game. I was there for that.
So don't you learn that you got to take care of business before that happens? You can't let that go. You can't forget those times because you're 1 second away from disaster. You're 1 second away from Draymond punching that guy and hurting him badly, or that guy punching Draymond and hurting him, and you're out a month or 2. And you're 1 inch away and 1 second away from that happening. And you're absolutely right, Marcus. Security should have been all over that.
And Mo, the Malice at the Palace, the guy that Artest went up in the stands, that guy was drunk before the game started. So they're just serving him up. He may have had some before he got in there, but he was drinking before the game started. And, they're not going to stop selling those $10 beers.
And, a couple of those fans were on the floor when they got clocked.
Yeah.
The one guy was on the floor, and I can't remember, just clocked him, knocked him out.
Yeah, they were throwing chairs and everything. It was the craziest thing
It's
ever.
dangerous. It's dangerous.
I remember my lead to my column. I said I went to a basketball game and a riot broke out, something like that.
I'll tell you, I remember I was scouting, and I was in Memphis and sitting at the table getting ready to scout, and the scout for somebody, I can't remember, Lakers or somebody, and I knew him and we knew each other, and he sat down next to me and getting ready to scout this game, and he showed me his notebook, and he said, "See this? There's a foot imprint on his notebook." I said, "That's Ron Artest's foot. He stepped over me to get in the stands."
That's a souvenir. Well, I wish I'd have known you when I was covering the league, and and you were scouting. I used to love talking basketball with Mel Daniels,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
great
Yeah,
Indiana Pacer
yeah.
player and longtime scout. Boy, he has some stories.
Yeah, you wanna talk to people, talk to advanced scouts that are on the road because we're all alone. We
Yeah,
travel
absolutely.
alone, we stay alone, we write our reports alone, and you sit down and want to talk to us, we'll talk. This might be our 10th day in 10 days on the road.
Absolutely. We're heading down. Dad, motorcycle went fast, man. We're
Always does.
heading. We're heading down the home stretch. Hey, guys out there, if you got any questions or comments, uh, let us know. We only got a few moments left here tonight. Mo, are you concerned with Cooper Flag? I meant to ask you that earlier.
No,
He's just going through what rookies go through.
he's 19 years old. He just turned 19. He's a kid, and he's going through turmoil of people chanting and owner doing this and owner doing that, and players hurt. The best players, Kyrie and Anthony Davis, are hurt. He went to a school where he probably lost 5 or 6 games his whole career, and now he's lost probably 8 games already. And it's a tough adjustment. And he's going to go through it. I hope he has people around him that'll say, hey, it's okay, just keep doing your thing, stay focused. You're going to hit the rookie wall in the All-Star break. Just fight through it, keep doing what you're doing, and he'll be fine. I mean, like I said before, he's not just a scorer. He blocks shots, he rebounds, he plays defense, he dives on the floor, he moves and passes. He does all that other stuff. He'll be fine.
And Paul George, just a few little notes. Paul George is back, supposed to be back in the lineup tonight against the Clippers. Man, Paul George is 35 years old now.
Didn't even know he was still around. He's played a long time.
John Moran is out 2 weeks with a strained calf. Ah, man.
Everybody's hurt.
Yeah, man. It is. Whoa! As we head out, Mo, look what Steve said about your pack.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sold on Love as a quarterback. I think he threw like 3 interceptions or turned the ball over the other game. They have a really good defense, and defense holds it down. Their offensive line is a little bit weak, but they'll be fine, man. Just wait. You just wait.
I'm saying the same thing about my lines. If we get offensive lines to play, people talk about, I think somebody mentioned earlier, the Lions lost their offensive coordinator. Who they lost was Frank Ragnow, the all-pro center. He was the cornerstone of that offensive line, and that's where they're weak now. They don't have Frank in there. The guy that's taking his place, Graham Glasgow, is a good player, but he is not Frank Ragnow.
Yep.
So you get pressure in the middle. That is a problem. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Mo?
No, just I'm kind of excited about the NBA Cup. I mean, players are taking it serious. I heard a coach talk about point differential in those games because like a FIBA tournament, and point differential, if you're tied, that matters. That carries over. So I think that's done exactly what they wanted to do. I am really, really, really mad at Adam Silver and the NBA for muddying up the darn All-Star game. Instead of keeping it clean and having it the world against America, they had to break up into 3 teams and play a tournament, 12 minutes each. That's crap. That's a bailout by the NBA because they're afraid that the world will beat them in a straight-up game of 48 minutes, which they probably will. Because let's think of the top players that would be playing on the world, right? You got Luka, you got Murray, you got SGA, you got the Joker, you got Giannis, you got Wemby, you got Sengun. I mean, come on, man.
It's crazy.
And they broke it up into 3 teams, 1 world team and 2 US American teams. So in my opinion, they can say, well, the world beat us, but we didn't have all our good players on one team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cop-out. They should play 48-minute game, world against the US, and see what happens. The one thing I am happy about is they have broken it up like that, because I guarantee the world team will play really hard, and that will make the American players play hard or else get embarrassed, and they don't want to get embarrassed. So for the first time in many, 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 many years, I think we're going to have games that are played pretty hard and pretty straight up, instead of the fiasco it's been for so many years.
Hey, and you mentioned the Cup game. I tell you, JB Bickerstaff, Pistons coach, is taking it serious. He said it's a great opportunity for our young team. We need all that kind of experience
and pressure, right? You get,
yeah.
You get pressure on, getting to the finals and playing a semi game to qualify for a championship. That's all some growth for those young players for sure.
Yeah. And Marcus calls Cooper Flag as a player, period. Yeah, he'll be fine. Mo, we got to get out of here. Hey, brother, love you. We love talking to you guys. Every Monday, tell a friend. We got next. Paul Mokeski, Ricky Hampton. See you next week.
Later. OJ.